Hello folks, I'm Ocir, and this time around it's gonna be a bit different. I felt like doing sort of a shout out for Larp related stuff that you can find around the internet. First off, I'm gonna recommend some movies for you folks. Some of them are directly related to Larp, while some might fall more towards the tabletop roleplay genre. I have seen all these movies and enjoyed them all. Although your taste is probably different from mine, I'm gonna recommend them all together. First up is Role Models, which is about some people who tend to try the limits of the laws and ends up in some sort of community service, and the punishment is, well, so to speak, is a company a couple of LARPing kids. It's been a while since I saw this movie though, so there's a good chance I'm a bit off there. However, you might recognize some of the actors there. It's a very funny, entertaining movie. Then there is another one I haven't watched in a while, Unicorn City. It might sound a bit fishy, but this one has a bit of both LARP and tabletop. It sort of begins in a tabletop setting, but develops into a LARP thing when one of the tabletop players feels he can achieve something by bringing the game from the table and into the real world. And besides, they got some really funny costumes going on there. Gonna try to find some pictures for you on that. Some movies I watched quite recently called The Gamers and The Gamers Darkness Rising. I watched The Darkness Rising first, not knowing there was an earlier movie. And this is focused on tabletop and brings out the humor that tabletop sessions can bring up, such as forgetting that your character is asleep and not really able to respond to something. All in all, both of these movies are remarkable in my opinion, because the humor captured in them is sort of unique to the tabletop universe. And even though they are playing this on sort of a tabletop game, they do display it in a LARP way. And to be honest, I almost skipped watching the earlier of the two The Gamers movies, because it was so obvious that it was low quality and low budget. Not the story and what it contained, but the actual quality of resolution and so on. But I'm very glad I didn't skip it, because when it was over I wish I could have more of it. And of course it's hard not to mention the Dungeons and Dragons movies, although they received some fatal criticism and almost won an award at one time for pretty much being one of the shittiest movies ever. Yeah, really, there is an award for that. I still enjoy them for some reason, maybe you will too. For those of you who don't know, the Dungeons and Dragons movies was supposed to represent the tabletop game with the same name, but cheesy special effects and plot holes sort of ruined that. If you don't mind that though, and just want some fantasy adventure, go for it. Now, for other LARP related stuff. Since I started making these LARP videos, I've been trying my best to learn a lot more about LARP than I already knew. And over the course of these, well, somewhere about 3 months or so, I come up with some channels on YouTube I would like to recommend for you that also focus a lot on LARP. I haven't been digging too much into these folks' channels really, but I have learned something from all of them. And besides, they got cool stuff. All in all, worth checking out, really. The first one is the Irish Will. What brought me to his channel was when I was searching for stuff like Drakenfest and other big LARP get-togethers, and I bumped into some playlists that he has which are quite entertaining. He brings the views on trips, and some of those trips happen to be rather LARP related. Besides, he's the Irish Will. How could you not go check that out? Besides, beard. The second one is LARP Forge. He has some great tips for costume props, costumes, equipment advice, and also talks about LARP in a way that made me understand it better. Considering I've been a LARPer for somewhere between 10 to 12 years, well, kudos LARP Forge. The last one is Stephanie Twilight. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Her channel was sort of the first LARP related channel I bumped into when I was first starting as a YouTuber myself, and have been an inspiration to me several times, especially when I struggle with coming up with topics for my Let's Talk LARP videos. She talks about a lot of different topics as well, so hopefully I haven't stolen any, and if so, that was certainly not my intention. I really recommend one of her videos where she has an interview with her own character. This video alone made me a better role player, so definitely worth checking out. That's about it, folks. I'm gonna leave links to every channel mentioned below, and if I can find suitable pages for it, I will also leave behind some links about the movies. When that's said, I have now shared what I have found so far and feel it's worth sharing with you folks. So I would really like to hear what you think about these recommendations, or maybe you even have some recommendations for me. Thanks a lot for watching, hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. If you want more, subscribe. I'm Ocir, take care.